Hello everyone, it's time for another short update from my side, private peak or however you want to call it. So the last few days I had a strengthened sense, actually the last week or so. There's a situation in the world it's quite normal right now, but it's to our detriment, and that is the disconnectedness we feel when we are walking past each other, when we are sitting in the subway next to each other, when we are sitting on the train, when we are standing in line in the supermarket. It's really rare that people, strangers, start talking to each other, even especially in the cities. Even look at each other for longer than a fleeting second to check if it's safe and if there's someone drunk or someone being weird. And if not, then everyone focuses on themselves, deals with their phone, or puts on or already has on their headphones. So there's the strong signal: don't even think of talking to me or addressing me or looking at me. I'm in my own bubble. And this creates a lot of separation even between us, not knowing that if we were to turn this around and suddenly start looking at each other, feeling each other's energy, admittedly in big cities, in the setting of a subway like in Berlin, there are energies around that are uncomfortable to face, and people who obviously having issues, and still everyone in this world and everyone you see and encounter is a part of yourself and has some connection to you. We are all interconnected, and when we are disconnected, that's the word that I was looking for at the beginning, the sense of disconnection. It's created by us being focused on our devices, on our mobile phones, on our smartphones, smartwatches, and listening to music instead of listening to each other. We get this sense that I'm here and everyone else is out there, and I better have my walls up so I can be in my online bubble, for example, talking to people on the phone instead of talking to my neighbor in the next seat. And this creates this sense that even though we are slowly waking up, like we become aware of things that are different than we were taught all our lives, and we can't speak about this because our neighbors are all in their own bubble and they don't see it, they are all on their phones. And if we were to speak up and speak our mind of what we are slowly processing and seeing in the world, then we would be perceived as weird, or we might be attacked, or we might be somehow rejected from others. But the truth is, and this is something I have for myself experienced almost every time I actually start a conversation with someone, which is not as often as I would wish now sitting here, and sometimes also not on the camera, but when I'm walking towards the forest or going on my walks. Everyone has quite similar view on this collective awakening, at least everyone I encounter and actually talk to. For example, the other night I had pizza. I ordered pizza, yes. I did eat something unhealthy. I'm not perfect and I'm not 100% vegan. Big surprise for maybe some of you, but I'm not hiding that. I was always even arguing against strict veganism because let's not get into that. Maybe in another video. But the thing is, for the first time there was a female pizza deliverer, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but quickly we came to talk to each other. it started with the high seats of the hunters. She mentioned hunters or people hunting animals. And I was mentioning that I'm thinking about creating this community, this intentional community, maybe or possibly or probably at my parents' place where there is already a lot of forests we own and fields where we could plant our own foods, stuff like that. And I said, yes, as soon as we start there, these hunters will have to leave. They will not be allowed to hunt in our forest. And then we talked about the consciousness evolution right now on the planet. We talked about awareness, about validation of emotions. And then we also talked about this, that people are most often disconnected and we don't get to talk to each other as much as me and this delivery person did this evening. And this talk lasted for almost 30 minutes, which is unusual because they are usually in a hurry to get these pizzas delivered to other people. So towards the end, she asked me, do you really have the sense that there's this growing awakening and more people are becoming conscious of things? And I said, well, the best proof is that now even my pizza delivery person is conscious and is aware of things like critical mass and all these things that we were discussing. So the encouragement here is when you are with other people, with other human beings, with other versions of yourself, try to make the most of it, try to experience the togetherness when you are sitting on the train, when you are in the subway, when you are in the company of actual living human beings that could potentially be thinking the same things as you do, but they don't dare to speak up. They try to hide, they think the world is not waking up, the world is asleep, everyone is asleep and everyone is a zombie and I'm the only one in my whole family who has these conscious thoughts. And when you start to talk to each other, you will recognize how many people actually are already to some degree waking up, and they could very much benefit from any short interaction with you when you can share your wakefulness or your heightened sensitivity or your insights that you gain when you are not talking, and then you share what you have experienced, what you have gone through this last year or these last few months, which have been quite transformative and intense for most of us anyway. So we are not as isolated as this overuse of technology is making us feel or making it seem. So yes, let's start to talk to each other. Let's at least start to look at each other, and you will see and sense when it's invited to start a conversation. And let's no longer hide behind our screens and behind our devices, but please regularly check my uploads on this channel also to stay updated on my messages. So I hope this resonates and is somewhat inspirational and helpful, and talk to you soon. Bye.